Well, on my 20th trip to the US, I finally got to visit Larry Chen, see his facility. Is it a compound, Larry?
I guess
That's a YouTuber thing, right? Calling it a compound.
The LC compound.
Yeah.
It's not the LC compound. See, the LC compound is a lot smaller and it's in California.
There's still lots of interesting stuff here. Now, like, we all know workshops are workshops, but you do a lot more. You're like us. You've got a lot more going on than just cars. You've got editing suites, you've got the printing, you've got all the prints that you do and sell out. So there's a lot going on here. So I guess let's just show people around, right?
Yeah, this is it. All of our gear with the camera car stuff is here too. But this is where I print. I actually have a 2-foot wide printer and also a 5-foot wide printer, so I can print all the ones that I sell on LarryChenPrints.com. But I do them all myself. I sign every single one of them. These mean so much to me. It is just a piece of paper, but for me, it's just beyond that. It's all the hard work that goes into creating something like this. And also, it's something that's visible, that you can hold, that you can put up on your walls. You can enjoy it every single day. And it's different than just like a Instagram post, you know? It's not like a quick moment. It's something that, if you like it, you know, it's something that you can have, and it's something that I created and that I'm handling. This is, I would say, my most famous photo, period. It has had the most eyes on it. When people talk about my work, they talk about this photo. You know, it's the thumbnail photo for Clankana, but beyond that, it is just such a very often viewed photo. One of the things when I talk about Ken is I talk about the fact that he's created this platform that's allowed for millions and millions of people to see my photos. It's just like you could look so close, and generally speaking, it's printing beyond the ability of the camera. But with photos like this, and also with the Clankana photo, because it's a stitched shot, there's so much information, there's so many megapixels in there that it allows it to show like 1-to-1 pixel for little whatever print. This is where we all work out of. It's 6 of us total that work together on this small production team. But we'll do commercial shoots. We do all our YouTube videos, our Haggerty episode out of here. Pretty much whatever we do, this is like home base. Yeah, we use all MSI computers, all PCs, no Macs here. I'm a PC guy, I've always been a PC guy.
I won't hold it against you.
Well, that's the thing is a lot of people, you know, they say, ew, green text, you know, but I work with Google, I work with Intel and MSI closely, so I like to support the people that support me.
Stupidest piece of memorabilia you have here?
The dumbest piece.
Dumbest or coolest, or both? Like, what's something you look at and go, I can't believe that's a piece of memorabilia?
Okay, all right, this is a good one. So, these both were surprises. These are actually like real Spark models. You know what Spark models are, right? 1/43 scale. They made these after both of these cars crossed the finish line at Pikes Peak. And then that means that the way it passes tech is the way that it comes. That means my peaker sticker is on both of these. Like, right there, that one, and then there's one on the window here right next to the side mirror. It's so ridiculous. Like, so my stickers, as a joke, you know, I went for a ride along with these two winning cars, but the model company ended up making the car as it crossed the finish line, you know, which is it's just so cool.
Isn't it weird how, from the first glance, it's just a model Porsche in the window?
Yeah.
Although, we've got to check this out. You ready?
Yeah, what's that? Oh, yeah. So this, if you guys remember, at one point Instagram, you only were allowed to post square photos. And I wanted to commemorate that. And this essentially got me to 100,000 followers. So this is 2025 square photos. From the very first photo to number 2025, and I just made it into a square. So it's a big square showing all little squares. So this is like the start of my social. This is some serious Nissan fanboy memorabilia. This is not mine, but this was sent to me so we could do some kind of project with it. But this envelope, it's so old, from 1995, 1996. 400R. This is the original 400R brochure, but look how premium this is. It actually is kind of like a slideshow, but it's like printed. Some of it is printed on this clear paper, but how cool is this? If you were interested in buying a 400R all those years ago, they would send you this, or you would get this from the dealership. The paper is already yellowed and some of this stuff has faded, but it's just so incredible to see like how they were able to do this on film all those years ago. And as a car photographer, it just really inspires me, because at one point they just weren't able to Photoshop any of this stuff. You know, this is just how it came from the camera. But I couldn't imagine seeing a red 400R on the street all those years ago. But this is my favorite part. This is actually all of the mods one by one. Like what makes a 400R special. And then of course, look at the price tag. 12 million yen, which is what, 120?
120,000 Australian.
Australian?
Maybe slightly over.
So like, then it's what, 100,000 US?
Less, like 80 at the moment.
Okay, alright, so 80,000 US. So what was it back in 1995? Inflation calculator. It'd be 161,500. That's still pretty cheap.
That's still cheap.
That's really cheap.
Yes.
I mean,
I want to cry.
I'll take two. Alright, should we check out...
Sure. Larry, I didn't picture you as a guy that would have a giant American truck.
You know, it is a Japanese truck, but it's built in America. So this is a very, very American truck. In fact, it's more American than some American trucks. These are actually built in Texas. So this is a Toyota Tundra. This is a 2018. I bought it wrecked. The front end was completely destroyed, and we actually wide-bodied it. So the reason why I built this is because I want a Japanese Raptor, right? So it is only 2 inches narrower than a Raptor, but it still is running Yokohama Geolander MT mud terrain tires, 37-inch with real beadlock, so I can air down to 3 psi if I need to. It is now supercharged with Magnuson's 2.6 liter supercharger, which makes 500 wheel horsepower and about 550 foot-pounds of torque. So it is a lot of power, and we use this, we abuse the absolute crap out of this thing. As you can see, this is all dust from Mexico. We chased the Baja 1000, 2,000 miles or so. Then, one day didn't pass by, I actually took it out to cross the entire length of the Mojave Desert in one day, just so I could say I did it. And I did damage it a little bit, which is fine, but that's what it's for, you know. I love this thing. So this is the shop side of the operation. I recently expanded from 1,200 square feet to double the size, 2,400 square feet. So this is on the property. This is my house. A lot of people ask me, hey, like, can I check your shop? You know, random people. Like, this is my house. This is where I live. So this is the car storage area. We have 3 bend pack lifts, and this is their parking lifts. We'll start with my 996 turbo. This is, you know, the first water-cooled turbo from Porsche. This is the X50 package one, which is essentially the Turbo S without the brakes. It's something that I've been working on for almost 10 years now. I bought it for really, really cheap. They were really cheap at one point, you know. It's something that I've been restoring, and the nice thing about it is something I can work on myself, because it is one of the last Porsches where you can actually see the motor. We'll get to my FJ Cruiser. So I'm a big forced induction guy. Pretty much every single one of my cars is forced induction, supercharged or turbocharged. This one is supercharged and 6-speed manual, and this is my first serious off-road vehicle. The reason why it's so dirty is because we actually use it for off-roading. We chase the Baja 1000, we chase King of the Hammers, we chase Min 400, all off-road racing. All the miles I've put on this, just off-road miles to the off-road event and then back. I don't actually use it for anything else. So my 1978 240Z, this is my most famous car. It is SR20 swapped. It does not have the L series motor in it. but I did restore it 2 years ago, and I told myself I would stop racing it. It was my autocross car, but I lied to myself, of course. I still race it, and it has damage from hitting cones and whatever, going off track. But that's okay because it is just such a fun car to drive. It weighs 2,150 pounds, and it is just an absolute blast. 300 horsepower, 300 foot-pounds of torque. Nothing crazy, but for something that weighs so little, it's very lightweight. It's just so much fun. Analog, no power steering. It's a 1970s. So this one is my camera car. The A90 Mark V Supra is my camera car, and that's what I use to chase all of the drifters. It is lightly modified, and I think I'm gonna start digging into it soon to really push this. I mean, because it's such a good platform. As you remember, when a lot of people, when this first came out, a lot of people complained that it's not a real Supra.
Yeah, because it's better.
It's a modern sports car, and it can be turned into a supercar very easily, as you know. So this is my time attack car. I like having a different type of car for all the kind of driving that I like to do, right? So I do have a drift car too that's not here, that's actually getting a roll cage in it because I want to get more into it. I want to get serious about learning how to tandem, not to compete, just to have a good time with friends. This is a 2022 GR86 Toyota, but this one is pretty much like has all the bolt-ons. When I say all the bolt-ons, it legitimately is all the bolt-ons. It's about, I think we calculated it, $50,000 worth of bolt-ons. Whatever we could get for this, we put on here. So it is supercharged right now, and it makes 300 horsepower. It's a HKS supercharger. It has good brakes. It has stop tech brakes. It has HKS aero. The aero alone, $13,000 from HKS. Basically, the point is that it's just something that's accessible, relatable, and it's just so much fun. This is my seat time car. I just love driving it, and hopefully I can compete in time attack a lot more with this. GDA! that's how you say it.
It's a GDR, mate. That's
GDR.
a T.
GDA. My 1990 R32 GTR. In 2014, they became legal in the US. I didn't end up getting it until 2018, but I knew I needed to get this car, which is this and the R34, my dream cars, So this is about as good of an example as you can get of an R32 GTR in the US. It's like OEM plus. As you know, Tommy F. Yeah has gotten his hands on it, but before that, it was still already pretty clean. The interior, as stock as possible. This is just like one of the few, I think it's about only 10 California legal R32s. So it actually does have a California plate. A lot of people who drive these in California, they have Florida titles or Montana titles, whatever. This is not that. I actually spent the money to get this tested and actually get this approved for California usage because I want to use the cars that I have. I want to be able to drive this anywhere. If I get pulled over, which I haven't yet, if I get pulled over, the cops will look at all the stuff. Everything is legit. But yeah, California. It was repainted in Japan before it was imported. But other than that, it actually came with aftermarket wheels, some work wheels. I actually went out of my way to get the best stock wheels I possibly could find, and I got new center caps. I just wanted to look this way, But under the hood, you'll see something very rare that you don't get to see that often. The rarest thing, I think, is the stock intake, the stock airbox, because most people, as you know, that's the first thing that they change, right? You would think the R32 comes with two big HKS green foam mushrooms, because every engine bay pretty much has something like that or a variation of that. I wanted to make it look as stock as possible, but as good as it could have looked from the factory back then if Nissan built this car. Tommy did do the engine bay. We deleted the ABS to make it look a lot cleaner. It is a HKS 2.8 liter motor now. It has HKS turbos. It is running Haltech standalone. I love this so much, the HKS Math Delete. It looks like a stock Math, but it just says it says HKS on it. So it gives you a little hint that there's something special about this car. KW coilovers, mostly left untouched from the outside, but I just wanted something that I could drive literally every day.
This is a good car for people like me to play Spot the Mod.
Yeah.
So like at first glance, you're right, you pop the hood and at first glance you go, oh, it's pretty stock.
Yeah.
But if you know what you're looking for, you start going, oh, adjustable fuel pressure regulator. Oh, I can see the injectors. Oh, Nismo catch can. Oh, ABS delete. Oh, remote oil cooler, radiator, MAF deletes. Oh, turbos. Oh, bigger intercooler. Like you actually start finding it when you look, but you have to actually look to find it.
It's not fair for somebody like you to pick this apart. Most of the time when you have something like this, it feels like, you know, you just want to make the most power. But if I tried to do that here, it's a pretty big challenge, and that's not what the car is meant for me, like this car in particular. For me, it's about the lore it has, the history, the aura that it emits, the look, the feel. When I drive a right-hand drive car, especially specifically this car, I was driving this last night on the street, it makes you feel like $1 million. It feels so special and it feels different. And when I look over at the guy next to me, they're like, what's going on? Something's weird's going on. Most car enthusiasts, legitimately, their whole life, they will never see a right-hand drive car.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is. You know, they're just rare, and it's just not ingrained in car culture yet. As time has gone on, as you've seen at the SEMA show, there's more and more of these kind of builds. And as the R34, S15, the last of the true JDM legends become legal, it's going to be more popular.
Well, that's good for me because it means GTR Festival USA can be even bigger, right?
Even bigger, yeah, that's a good point. What's cool is the first batch, including my R34 GTR, becomes legal, 25 years. So mine's a summer car. So as soon as summer hits in Japan, it's gonna get on a boat and it's gonna come here and it's gonna join this. So now I'll have a Bayside Blue R34 and then I'll have a red R32. Maybe what's missing is the Midnight Purple R33. I don't know. Maybe one day I'll get one. But
cameras, everyone.
Yes. Yeah. So my second in command, Lewis, does have a white R33. So we're gonna do a very patriotic red, white, and blue shoot. As soon as my R34 lands, we'll do a red, white, and blue shoot.
Isn't the Texas flag red, white, and blue? We can shoot them together on the Texas flag on the start line at GDR Festival in Dallas. What do you reckon?
That would be cool. That would be awesome. But yeah, we do all of the stuff here. We've built 2 SEMA cars here. We do everything here. We bend pack lifts, snap-on tools. We change our own tires.
Well, thanks for the tour, Larry. I do look forward to seeing more and more GTR stuff on your channel and obviously more of every feature. Thanks again for our feature. The big question though is when are we going to see you back in Australia?
Hopefully soon. I mean, I came back for World Time Attack, and Australia as a country feels the closest to home. The familiarity is nice because it just feels like I'm so welcome there. You know, the people, the stories that I'm able to tell, it is incredible.
We have a lot more waiting for you there.
Oh yeah,
a lot more.
I can't wait to come back.
Awesome.
Yeah. All right.